We'll call the meeting back to order of the House Tax Committee. We have the A17 amendment before us. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Of Dabney?
I'll save you the counting and withdraw the amendment.
Okay, the A17 amendment has been withdrawn. Any further amendments? Any further discussion on the bill as amended? Representative Biskins.
Very quickly, Mr. Chair, I'm going to be voting for this bill today because, number one, I think the issue of this is a tax increase is such a silly issue. I've got three bills here from 99, 2003, and 2005 in which we dealt with gaming in all three of those, and the current president of the Taxpayers League voted for all three of those. Then they weren't a tax increase, now they are. That's kind of silly. The whole issue of expansion of gambling, members, I represent Scott County. There is more gambling in Scott County when you've got Mystic Lake, when you've got Canterbury Park, when you have all of the Catholic churches in Scott County, Mr. Chairman, and I will point to one of the biggest denominations that Representative Myra will be representing, hopefully, in the next 2 years, that actually in their church bulletin has Racino on the front cover. There are some religions who believe there are indeed some religions who believe that gambling is a social and moral ill. There are other religions who believe every woman should have their head covered. God bless them. Believe what you want, but we don't impose our moral beliefs on other people of the state of Minnesota, nor should we on this issue. But I'm also going to say, and I mean this sincerely, all right, the revenue estimates of $52 million a year are as silly as the tax increase argument and the expansion of gambling argument. This bill is not going to raise $52 million a year. That's ridiculous. The Department of Revenue said it was ridiculous less than 18 months ago. I don't know what changed, voodoo magic or something, all right? But, people want to have fun. Let them have fun, for goodness sakes. I'm voting for this bill.
Further discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Representative Paymark.
well, I'm going to say something. I know people want to go ahead here, and I have I just want to say something about the expansion of gambling because it is significant, and I'm not clean I guess is not the right word, but pure when it comes to the issue of gambling. Just a little brief history, and then I just want to say and make a couple comments about it. Is that this is going to really date me, but I represented a ward in the city of Duluth when I was on the Duluth City Council back in the 1980s, and at that time the city of Duluth was in the midst of a major recession. In fact, it was, I think, bordering on a depression because of the decline of the steel mills and the iron ore mills, and then the impact on the steel mills in Duluth. And it was horrible. And one way out of that, we thought, when I was on the city council, was that we would enter into an agreement with the tribe, and we created the Fond du Loup Casino. And I was president of the city council at that time and voted for it. So I just want to say I'm not pure on it. And I guess I've also voted on Link Bingo at one time or another around here. So I've tried to help out charitable gambling when I can. And I understand the intent of the author to help charitable gambling. But I also have to say is that last year when I was back in Duluth, I decided to take a look at the Fond du Loup Casino, and I just have come I've come full circle on my belief. I don't, there's some people here that just would say that this is if you're opposed to the expansion of gambling, that you're against personal liberty for people to do what they want to do. But quite frankly, there's like 250,000 people that have serious gambling problems in the state of Minnesota. And this impacts families. It impacts the social costs of our communities and our county budgets. You can't ignore that. And people want to gamble. They have the right to gamble. But we're taking a different step here. We're actually becoming a partner in it in a different way. And maybe we've been partners all along when we did the lottery and okayed tribal casinos, but now we're taking it another step, and we're going to raise $2.3 billion a year in additional revenue. I think that not to ignore the social significance of what we're doing here is a mistake. And I know everyone wants to just get the bill moving here. I don't, for me, it's not a moral issue. I've gambled. I don't, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have an addiction to it. So if I went to a casino and said I'm going to spend $100 or $200, and I draw the line there. In fact, one time I played the roulette, and I won $800 at a casino. And I was so happy and thought it was all so easy, and I proceeded to lose that and another $800. So, I know how this all works, and so I just have to remind the committee. I don't have to remind the committee. I'm just going to state that this is in my view, it's a regressive tax, and and it's a sad commentary, I think, on our state that. In order for our charities to function, and now in order for our state to function, we have to go down further steps in embracing gambling, when the people that are going to be paying for it there are a lot of people that really can't afford to. And the impact on families, and I say this from my work in the domestic violence field, it's extraordinary when people have gambling addictions. And so the author has put 1% of the gambling proceeds to help people with gambling problems. Well, it's we're furthering the problem, Representative Kriesel. I know you're trying to do the right thing here. The bill will probably pass, but I have changed my thinking on the expansion of gambling, and I think I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to vote no on the bill. I don't know. That's all I need to say. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Further discussion? Hearing none, I'll renew my motion that House File 1485 as amended be passed without recommendation to the Committee on Ways and Means. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion prevails. Okay, Representative Kriesel, I will now move Senate File 1856. I believe you have an amendment.
Mr. Chair, yes, I have the DE1 amendment.
Okay, just to get in the shape that the author would like, I'll move the DE1 amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion prevails. We do have a revenue note. Maybe Ms. Templin could... No. John, do you want to explain what we're doing here? Or, excuse me. Representative Kriesel, could you please explain what we're doing here?
That works, Mr. Chair. That's fine.
I apologize.
No problem. So what this delete all amendment does is puts the exact language we just passed out of the committee, or you all just passed out of the committee, into the Senate File 1856. What happened with House File 1485 is the Senate author, for some reason, wanted to return the bill to author, vaporized it, so now this has no companion, and so now we're trying to fix that by putting this language in there. Into the Senate file.
Representative Lancheski. Okay. Further discussion? Representative Lancheski.
Mr. Chair, I just think it just needs to be put out there. There's a rumor that these are attempts to deal with this issue and then later add the Vikings, and so therefore the Vikings wouldn't have to go through this committee. And Mr. Chair, can you just clarify that that wouldn't be the case?
Well, Representative Lancheski, if there is a move to do that, I will stand up on the floor. I hope you will join me in saying that we should vote that down and get a Vikings bill, if there is a Vikings bill, to the tax committee. I feel very strongly about that, and I would appreciate your support and others to that issue. That will not be a pretty day on the floor if that happens as such, but that would be my position.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Representative Rukavina.
do you have any support from your caucus for that position? Which is the question we should ask.
Well, I will speak for myself on this issue, too, and I agree with Representative Lancheski on this, that that issue, I believe, needs to come to the tax committee. Whether I have the votes, I'm not going to write checks my body can't cash. And I know what I will do, but I'm speaking for myself. Representative Bisgis.
Mr. Chair, I will guarantee you that my caucus stands 100% behind you on that.
It's great to gain 100% of a caucus of one. Representative Carlson.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I have a question, but
Your microphone,
I sit
please.
next to him on,
I sit next to Representative Biskins in Ways and Means, and we do periodically check in with his entire caucus to see what.
Representative Carlson.
my question is, what is the motion before us right now on this bill?
I will move at the appropriate time that House File 1850. I'm sorry. The motion will be, I move that Senate File 1856 as amended be passed without recommendation to the Committee on Ways and Means.
We have an amendment here. Is
It's
No,
on
it's adopted.
in the
it
bill.
on already?
Yes.
That's what my question was. I apparently
Kinda like
missed
Jimmy
that
John's
vote.
freaky fat.
You must have moved. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't just passing this, that you were putting the whole question before us. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Representative Linchesky.
Well, Mr. Chair, if I may, just before we vote, because I know when you vote, we all tend to head out of here, and I don't know what you have planned for the rest of the session. And, I just heard you say if the Vikings make it to taxes, and we'll have another committee meeting. But if we don't, and, John Ward's only had one meeting, Representative Ward. But I do want to, just in case we don't, this biennium, I really want to thank you. And I want to thank everybody here. I think the public office doesn't understand that, well, we feel strongly, we like each other, and we argue our positions, and it's been a great 2 years. Don't know if you're going to have us meeting more and more, but I do want to thank you on the record and thank all of our colleagues and all of our staff, both DFL and Republican and partisan, and just thank you, and nonpartisan, because it's been a rough week. There's been a lot of emotion on a lot of issues, and I want to thank you for how you've chaired the committee.
Well, thank you, Representative Linchesky, and
I'm a caucus of one also. Maybe you got 2 votes on the floor, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Gawa, you're my hero. You're my hero. With that, and thank you so much, Representative Linchesky. That means a lot. And I would like to say that I thank each and every member of this committee, and to our new member, tax committees. It's the best. You've often said, Representative Linchesky, it's the best one out there. It is. Representative Linchesky is correct. But I too, well, if the Vikings team is going to move forward, we better be having another meeting, is what I'm saying. But who knows how this place works? We don't know how this place works. So with that, Representative Dabney.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. I'm actually reading the bill, and I apologize for that alone. I've even disappointed staff. But it occurs to me in terms of the motion. I'm looking, for instance, at page 29 that talks about where what are we looking at? The pull tabs can be sold, and it goes to issues of local government. Premises where licensed for off-sale or intoxicating, those are local government functions. Given that and given our House rules, then shouldn't the motion actually be for both this bill and the first bill that we passed this evening be to go to, what committee is it that deals with local government? I served on it. Government operations, thank you. It was local government when I served on it in my first term here. And Mr. Chair, if I may, there may be other interactions with local governments here that are new. I recognize the exclusion of local sales taxes and permitting fees and the like, if I understood Dr. Wilson earlier, is simply a new, old language in a new place and not a change. But this strikes me as actual new language.
Actually, Representative Dabney, I've been advised that is current language, and so therefore would not need to go to GovOps.
But, Mr. Chair, we don't have electronic pull tabs at this time, so how can that be old language?
Representative Kriesel?
Mr. Chair, Representative Dabney, it's current because it's using the paper pull tabs law. And so it's already in place as far as those portions of the laws.
Representative Dabney? If we could vote on this bill, and then I'd like to make a few comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Representative Dabney, for
Thank you,
pointing out.
Representative Kriesel.
I move the Senate File 1856 as amended be passed without recommendation to the Committee on Ways and Means. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
No.
Motion prevails. Okay, with that, members, I don't know if we have any more meetings or not. There's some folks that have some various bills that I'd still like to hear that I'm not.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members, for the passing. Sorry.
Oh.
See ya.
Thank you, Reverend Kriesel. Don't go away mad, just go away. Okay. So with that, I'd certainly like to thank the staff, the pages. Thank you very much. The committee legislative assistant, committee administrator, even Rubus, and others. I'd like to thank DFL Research, Katie Sen, and of course the Dream Team, House Research and House Fiscal, and Representative Biskins.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair, and I will make a recommendation to Representative Davney that Rule 4.31, I believe, says before second reading, so that would be appropriate at that time. But I think it also at that between then and now, please talk to House Research and talk to the Chief Clerk's office, because the expansion of that rule that you're talking about, I think, is far broader than it was ever intended. And have a chance to visit with Representative Khan, who also had a big part in putting that rule into House rules.
And Representative Biskins, that's a very good point. I think that's 4.13. I think, whatever, I usually should say 6.903 and call it a day. But with that, that was very interesting yesterday. We learned some things from Representative Winkler. We had a good conversation afterwards, and I actually handled that one correctly, believe it or not. It's really bizarre that I got that one right. But so with that, thank you, Representative Gowal. With that, I'd just like to thank everybody that makes this tax committee work. And with that, good government all the time. We are adjourned.
John, why don't you give your first meeting?